Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt Roden. I'm the CTO of Evident. Welcome to the 4 p.m. UK time demo that happens every Thursday. You can also catch the demos on a Tuesday at 10 a.m. UK time. The purpose of this session is to give anyone who hasn't seen it before a run through of the Evident Proof platform, describe very briefly in 10-15 minutes what it does, how it works, the terminology, and how you as a enterprise customer or an individual or a developer can start using the platform. So without further ado, let's dive straight in. So quick bit of information on what the platform does. Evident Proof allows organizations and individuals and developers to store proof of data. So by data, we mean transactional data, event data, data on physical things, be it safety equipment or a handbag, or data on documents. So this could be licensing documents, ID documents, anything really that requires proof. So what do we mean by proof? So data submitted to the Evident Proof platform is stored immutably. That means it can't be hacked, it can't be changed, it can't be altered. Once the proof of your data is on our platform, we can prove immutably, beyond doubt, in a court of law or wherever is required, that the data you submitted to our platform is indeed the exact data you submitted to our platform at the time you said you submitted it. If the data in your system or your software is altered or changed, then the proof on our system will no longer match, and that data is no longer immutably provable. So let's give a very quick example. One of our clients, one of our existing clients, manufactures safety equipment. Specifically, let's talk about respirators. They have a big problem with counterfeit respirators being produced. This is a problem that loses them millions of dollars a year, and essentially they need to be able to prove that the data coming out of their manufacturing and supply chain process hasn't been changed, hasn't been tampered with, and prove the immutability of that data. That allows them to do two things. It allows them to show all of the respirators that have been manufactured by them. It also allows them to show where a respirator has copied a serial number from a real respirator. It allows them to show, well, actually, this provenance chain, we can prove immutably that the real respirator is owned by XYZ company in Germany, not ABC company in China or France or so on. So essentially, they submit data to us right through from the discrete manufacturing of that bit of kit through the supply chain process. They submit many pieces of data on this piece of equipment, and later down the line, they are able to get proof certificates from us to prove the immutability of the data in their systems, and they can take that proof to a court of law and prove beyond doubt what they are saying. So I think probably the best way to proceed, what I normally do here is let's talk through the Evident Proof dashboard that you can see here. Let's talk through a bit of the terminology, start to get you familiar with what it is we're doing, and then we'll go into a real integration into the system. We'll show you a line of business application actually interacting with the Evident Proof system to store data, proof of data immutably. So this is the dashboard. What is here? So left to right, we're saying there is a wallet of EPT tokens. This probably isn't the time or place to do a deep dive into this, but effectively our platform is driven through the use of tokenization, specifically ERC20 tokens, as we are using the Ethereum protocol, the main net, to store data immutably on the blockchain. This is the balance for our EPT. EPT is received when data is stored on the platform. It is only at that point that EPT tokens are generated, and EPT tokens are later used to redeem proof certificates on data stored on the platform. Seal credits. Every time one submits data to our platform, we call it a proof seal. So one bit of data is one proof seal. Why the word seal? Well, we effectively hash your data before storing it on the blockchain, i.e. we seal that record in a hash. So that is what that is. So this user, who happens to be me, has 82 seal credits, 82 pieces of data prepaid to store on the platform. This data is around platform usage. Let's pick up a few terms here. Proof seals, we've been through. Proof certificates is a certificate that proves that the data, the proof seal that you stored on our platform, was indeed stored in the exact form and in the exact the exact data on the exact timestamp that you have claimed it was. This is the document that you receive that you can take to a court of law or anyone trying to prove or disprove your data. Proof seal bundles. What is a bundle of proof seals? A proof seal bundle relates to a particular logical record, be it an entity in a database or a physical thing. Let's think again about our respirator, and it's all the proof seals that relate to that that object or entity grouped together into a proof seal bundle. That's what that is. Okay. How does one get started using the Evident Proof platform? Evident Proof is provided as a service, particularly a web service using a RESTful API. I don't know if we have any developers watching. Certainly they will know what that means. To everyone else, we can just say that there is a way of integrating into Evident Proof where one system talks to our system, sending the data programmatically. How does one get themselves set up to send data into our platform? Well, they go and create an account on Evident Proof. They take a look at the API documentation, which defines the interfaces for storing data on our platform, and they go and grab themselves an API key. An API key is a way of authenticating yourself with our system to store data. We're not going to deep dive into that. It may or may not be the right audience, and so if you have any particular questions on that, please do reach out to myself or on the Telegram channel, and I will be more than happy to take you through a bit of a development workshop. Okay, so that's that. Let's go into a real example. I'll talk you through it. I'll talk you through what's happening, and then we'll go through the life cycle of a proof seal and how we get to actually generating a proof certificate. Any questions you have, throw them up on the Telegram channel. I'll keep half an eye on it on my phone whilst I'm doing this demo, and endeavour to answer them at the end. So we have a real life client on this platform whose example I can talk about. Many we can't, but this one we can. There are others. If anyone wants to deep dive into use cases for the platform, again, reach out. We will discuss the kind of things the platform is being used for. This particular client is the largest supplier of taxi licensing solutions to local government in the UK. They provide the software, they provide the workflows, they provide the governance. What does this mean? Well, when a taxi license is issued in the UK to, let's say, a black cab driver, they have to go through a series of checks, criminal record checks, driving license checks, identity checks, and so on and so forth, to verify that they are indeed allowed to have that taxi license. Why is this so important? Well, of course, everyone needs to know these days that people are who they say they are when they're providing a service. So if that if that taxi driver had their license revoked at some point due to a drink driving ban, yet they were given a taxi license anyway, then you're going to want to know that. That's pretty important to your safety. Same with criminal convictions and so on. Only a couple of months ago, there was an article out in the Guardian newspaper, a large newspaper in the UK, saying 150,000 taxi licenses were issued last year to drivers with criminal convictions, drink driving bans, and so on. And so that, of course, is an embarrassing situation for everyone, but not only embarrassing, but dangerous for the people getting into those taxis. So it's more and more important that we can prove that the checks and balances that should have been done were done. And these will later feed into workflows where the users can go and check on their phone using our system behind the scenes that actually, yes, I can see those checks were done, and this is backed by the blockchain, the data is immutable, it's not been tampered with, we're good. This is the taxi, we can get in. So this is as you can see, a mock-up of their application. Their actual application is their existing software, and our platform is integrated into it. Obviously, we can't show you that, but here is a representation of one of the workflows within their software, so that we can show you creating a taxi license, that taxi license data being sent through to the evident proof system, stored immutably, and then we'll show you the workflow through. Okay, let's create a taxi license. This is fictional, so let's make up a name. What name haven't we made up before? Let's do Alex Smith. There we go. Right. License is active. Did we do a license check on them on the real system? I'm sure you can imagine documents need to be uploaded. Various proof of these checks will be uploaded, be it proof of a background call to a service that does this, or to a government licensing service to show you, and so on. We can store anything on the evident proof system. I'll go into that in a minute. So documents and as much proof as possible are a very valid thing to be submitting to our platform. Criminal record check performed. Again, proof. Let's get a document. Let's get the proof that we actually did this, and let's submit it to the service so that we can show beyond doubt that this person was issued a license correctly, or indeed was denied a license correctly if they argue that point. Let's put in a license number. That's roughly UK format. Okay, and we'll say we did an identity check. Okay, let's again attach some evidence of that in the real system. Here is a checkbox. Driving offences. Okay, no, they don't have any. We're going to give them a license. Great. So create. What is happening here behind the scenes? This taxi license is being created. There we go. Number 55 is our license creation record ID. That's great. The data for this taxi license generation has been submitted from the back end of this application to the evidence system. So now we have some data that Evident is going to prove is going to store immutably in a way that can be proved later. Let's go back to Evident and let's pick up this record. Let's go and have a look at our proof seals. As we discussed, that's what is being submitted. Here we go. So you can see my timestamp. There we are. There's our record. There's my local time. Primary service user cross-reference. This links back to the original record in the source system that submitted this data. So number 55, great. Where, well, the observant of you will notice I'm running a local demonstration of this rather than in the live system. But this would be an IP address. This is how a local IP address gets represented. Key was a new license. This is a naughty example, but you'll get the point as we go through. Let's dive into this and see what was actually in this proof seal. So You see here, there's some data represented in a JSON format. This is the data that we generated through our application when we created that license. And most importantly, here is the seal, the proof seal, the hash of that data that gets stored on the blockchain. We can store anything in these value fields, be it this, be it a single field, be it a document, be it the works of Shakespeare, really doesn't matter. Everything gets condensed to this seal. This is our proof. Within this seal is our timestamp, everything we need to be able to go back and prove later that this data was submitted when we said, from where we said, in the form we said it was. So that's pretty important, right? So that data got submitted. We got back a receipt. What is a receipt? Why do I need one? A receipt is what is passed back from the web service when data is submitted to our platform. A receipt can be either just held in this dashboard, that's perfectly valid, or picked up as the reply from that web service and stored against the source data in your database or wherever it is that the original data came from. That's a simple way of then showing that that data was stored immutably on the evident proof service, and that receipt can then be used later to request a proof certificate. A proof certificate, as we said, is purely the evidence you need to prove the integrity of your data. So we provide proof of evidence, evident proof. So let's go and request proof certificate. What's going to happen here? So this data has been stored on the blockchain. It's been stored on our private blockchain and the Ethereum mainnet in a series of proprietary smart contracts. So that's where our data immutable store is. So this proof certificate process will go and check the private chain, check the mainnet, check the seal, recheck this, and all of this matches the seal, and come back and say, yeah, this is valid. Here is the way you prove this. The way we prove data can differ from organization to organization. It is what proof means to that organization, but fundamentally, we work with the organizations to form these proof certificates. Let's submit a proof certificate request. And here is our proof certificate. You can see we've used some tokens. Again, I'm not going to go into tokenization in detail in this demo, but if anyone would like to ask questions, and I'd imagine there may be some questions because it's a very interesting subject, then please feel free to ask me. Let's go and look at our certificate. What is in it? Okay, so the header, well, this is the dispatch that we originally sent, the proof seal. Here's our evidence, great. Here is our receipt, and now we come on to the actual the sort of meat of the certificate, which is our request. Our request to that tokens used, evidence verified, and in this case, we're providing the transactional ID of the storage of the seal on the blockchain, which is one mechanism for this this data, the immutability of this data to be proved. But we can go much further than that. The amount of data we hold on the life cycle of this proof seal is vast, and so these proof certificates can be tailored in any way required. Okay, that is the demo. Any questions, give me a shout. More is available on Telegram, either myself or Brian McClafferty or Adrian Clark. We'll come back with answers to any of your questions. Thank you very much for watching.